28th of September today. As you can see, it's a beautiful day. In fact, the sun is so strong, I really need to put on my glasses, but obviously you won't see me. I'm down here on the allotment and I'm going to show you how the carrots are getting on. Now, I sowed them at the beginning, well, sort of in the spring, sort of the middle of the spring, because the beginning was a bit chilly. And they just took forever to grow, and a load of them didn't, so I then had to re-sow a load more, which was a little bit annoying. So they're actually slightly later than I would normally expect them to come up. Usually I start to harvest them in like August time, but now it's the end of September. But they have, the second lot have caught up, and they're ready to go. In fact, some of them have actually gone to seed. I've never ever had carrots go to seed before, which is really quite bizarre. So hopefully they'll still be okay, but I'm going to show you a couple of ways in which to dig them up. You can either start from one end of the row and then gradually work your way up, but doing that you can end up with some really, really tiny ones which still need a little bit more space to grow and a little bit more time. So sometimes if they're too small you'll waste them, or you can go up the row and just test each one. I know it's very time consuming, but that way you don't actually lose any. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to test them and see if they're big enough on the top, and then I'll pull them up. So I'll show you how I do that. Okay, so what you need to do is start at the ground level. Now, first of all, if the leaves are quite tall, that's quite a good indication that one of them is ready to come up. This one obviously is very, very small, so I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to find a nice, this one here where the leaves are really, really tall. Just rub your finger around the outside and look at the top of the carrot. If the top of the carrot is nearly an inch across or more, then I would personally say it's ready to come up. So you can either get the fork in there, but doing that would actually mean that you disturb all the other ones. So if your ground is really soft, like mine is, because we've had lots of rain recently, I hopefully will be able to pull it up. So grab hold of the bottom of the stem where it meets the carrot, give it a little bit of a wiggle, and it should come up. You should hear the roots, the side roots here ripping. Okay, and hopefully it'll all come up just as that one has. So that's a good one. I'm pleased with that. That's a nice sized carrot. So I'll continue going along the row. There's another one. Bit of a wiggle. And a gentle pull. Because if you disturb the soil, then that's what attracts the carrot fly, and obviously at the moment we don't want to attract the carrot fly, so that's why it's a good idea just to very, very carefully remove them. Cover up any of the carrots that are left with soil, and that again will help protect against the carrot fly. So I'll just go along, and I'll just along this row, and I'll pull up a load, and then I'll be back with you in a minute. Right, well, I've just pulled up a selection. I've gone down just one row. There's obviously still loads more in, but I've just taken the ones that are big enough, and the ones that are left in there will have now a little bit more room that they can grow. So these are, these are all the ones that I've just pulled up. They're all good shapes, nice and straight. Doesn't look like there's any carrot fly on any of them, which is great. But if you do get carrot fly, just cut it out. So they'll keep us going for a bit. I was getting a little disappointed because they were all beautiful and straight, you know, or near enough straight as possible, you know. And I was just like, oh gosh, I've done something wrong. Where's my wonky one? But then I found one. I went to pull one up and it wouldn't come up, so I thought, ooh, this is good. So, yes, there we are. There's a couple there that are cuddling round each other, shall we say. There. So I'm not quite sure how I'm going to separate them, but they seem to have sort of fused together but I do think they look quite small. Maybe they were trying to make some small baby carrots together. So I think that'll do for us for a little while, and now I'll move on to something else, and if it's interesting I'll show you. So hopefully I'll see you in a bit, but I need to try and figure out what I'm going to do now. Right, now here in amongst all the weeds and horrible stuff, it's the last of the radishes. Radishes can be sown any time from like March through to sort of early September, but once you kind of get past early September, then it's not worth sowing them because it just gets too cold. Obviously the later in the season that you sow them, the longer they take to grow, but just to show you that this will be the last lot, and you know how to know when your radishes are ready, just go along the line like we did with the carrots and just see if they're quite small, then just leave them for a bit longer. So the size that some of these have actually been nibbled, but you can see that one's been nibbled. It actually split there because we had lots of rain. When they get too old, then they get a bit sort of woody inside and they're not very nice to eat. And once they start to sort of shoot up and go to seed, then again they're not very nice to eat. So they're usually best at the very beginning of the season and at the very end, I tend to find. If it's too hot, they don't like it. Now these were rainbow ones, so they're all different sizes, but that is about the right size that you would want your radish to be. It's, you know, that sort of size, about an inch and a bit across, I suppose. These ones are quite hot, but they will keep going until you get some frost. So I'll just go along the line, and again the way to have a look is just to push a leaf back and look at the radish itself. Just move the soil. If it looks too small, that one I would class as too small, and I'll just leave it for another few weeks. So just push the soil back again over it. This one has actually, it's huge. How did I miss that one? Okay, it looks like a double radish actually. That one's most probably it's woody inside, and it won't be possible to eat, but until I cut into it, I won't know. But I'll take that home and have a go. But I'll just work my way along, and hopefully come up with a nice selection. And because they're rainbow ones, they vary in colour as well, so it will look really nice even at this time of year. You know, salads are nice, so it's something that you can put in a salad. Just keep them in the fridge. So I'll continue. You can see this one got wet. It got a load of water, so therefore it's split. It's not been bitten, but you've got one root on one side and one root on the other. So I'll carry on. I'll go up this entire line. I'll pick up a load of radish, and then I'll come back to you in a bit. Right, well, I've just finished going up and down the line. The ones that are left, some I'll give another couple of weeks to, but the ones that aren't, when I've harvested those, if there's any left, then they won't grow because by that time it will just be too cold. But I've got a lovely selection, really nice. Some lovely deep sort of purple ones, white ones, yellow ones, pink ones, red ones. Just gorgeous. Some of them are absolutely immaculate, just a bit dirty. Others are just a tad strange, which is like that one. That one's split. And then the woodlice like to eat them as well, so that one has most probably gone too far and may well be woody inside. But as I say, until I cut into it, then I won't know. You know that they're woody because when you've cut into them, if they look sort of brown inside and they look a bit sort of, not rotten, a bit sort of, well, woody, it's the only way to describe it, then they've gone too far. And also when you bite into them, if they're just sort of, they don't taste very nice, then they've gone too far. So it's just a case of trying. But I think most of these should be okay because they look good. Some of the big ones would have gone too far. So I'll take those home and See what else I can find. Now, I mentioned to you a little while ago, I said that some of my carrots have gone to seed, and this has never happened with me before. I just thought I would show you, because I thought, well, I'll dig them up and see what they're like. So I'm gonna show you. This is what they look like when they've gone to seed, and what happens underneath the ground, because this was new to me. I'm sure it's happened to others of you, but this was new to me. So let me just show you the difference. Now, these have gone to seed. As you might be able to see, I've actually dug the rest of the row up, but you get these lovely little flowers on top. Now, these have gone to seed. Now, we'll dig them all up and I'll show you what they look like underneath, because it's really quite fascinating. So I'll just get in with a fork. In fact, the soil is actually really soft, so I could just pull them up. So grab hold of a bunch, pull them up, and hopefully you can see that there are some purpley ones, but there are also some white ones, and I'll just explain to you the difference. Now, if we look at the purple ones, if we get a purple one out, okay, you usually find that the purple one has not gone to seed. Okay, now they all came from the same packet, and so therefore they should all be exactly the same. Okay, if you get a purple carrot and there's a bit of give in it, there's bend in it. In fact, this one's actually got a little bit of carrot fly. This is what carrot fly looks like. You get this sort of browny rusty coloured, and then you get some little holes. Okay, don't throw the carrot away, just chop that bit out. Okay, but there's give in the carrot. This carrot is fine. If we then look at a white carrot, one that's turned white, and the white ones have always gone to seed. Okay, they all started out purple. Once they go to seed, it appears that the carrot then turns white, and there's no give in this section of it, obviously the end, because it's, you know, it's skinny, but if you go up to a substantial bit, there is no give. Okay, so this one has gone too far, and it goes like a radish. It goes very woody. You will not want to eat that. So if your carrots have gone to seed, dig them up. Get the ones that are, whether it happens with all the other ones, I don't know, or whether it's just this specific one. But just test. There's definite give in this one. You can feel that it will move. So that's how you check, but also the top. So I will just carry on digging up this one, getting rid of the woody ones and keeping the nice ones, and then I'll show you what I've got, because I've got quite a nice selection. Right, well, I've just finished digging up and I've got a nice selection. I had to throw most of them out, but I've got some of them are really good sizes, so some of these I'll keep whole, and others I will cut up. But yes, I'm very pleased with them, so I'll just move on to something else, and hopefully I shall see you soon. Right, well, that's it for today. I think I've had enough. I've been down here for about 3.5 hours, so I've got plenty of carrots up, so that's great. And I've also got a sunflower head, which I will give to the chickens. I'll let dry out a little bit so that they open up, and then I'll give it to the chickens. So I hope you found that interesting, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.